Have you ever found yourself in a situation when you share your general idea with others about investing in Northern Cyprus, and out of the blue, a colleague, a friend, or a relative, or even a business partner tells you it's an amazing idea to invest, but you have to go with this particular project or particular developer, or you have to only deal with this particular agent? And they don't just casually recommend it, they kind of push on it hard. My friends, if that happens, you have to know one simple rule. It's not only about your future or potential future on your investment, it's also about their bonus commission. Let me explain to you how this game works in Northern Cyprus. Let me start with explaining to you how ordinary people are being turned into property partners. The thing is, in Northern Cyprus, a lot of agencies and developers use one simple model to recruit partnerships. Basically, they offer a chunk of commission or a bonus to an individual that brings a potential client to them. And that individual would, of course, have no training in real estate market in Northern Cyprus, no license, no understanding of documentation or title deed, and no proper understanding the pricing policy in Northern Cyprus. But they get a generous commission for bringing a client. So here how it usually happens. An individual buys a property directly from a developer or via an agency. And of course, they start having established relationship and talking about, discussing market of Northern Cyprus in general. And then the buyer hears from a developer that if he brings another potential client to this particular developer and the deal closes, he actually gets a bonus commission for that. And we're not talking about 1,000 or a couple of £1,000s, my friends. We're talking about tens of £1,000s just by saying, this is the best development on earth, or go with this particular agent, he is the best one. Now imagine this individual that is looking at potential 10K profit or even 20K profit. Do you think he's gonna say, yes, Northern Cyprus is an amazing place for investment, but make sure you double check with 10 different agencies and at least review 20 different projects to make sure you make a right informed decision? Or would it rather be, yes, but make sure you go with this particular agent and only buy this development. Don't waste your time. It's the best one. Just buy it. I think you know the answer. And the important question is, where do this extra money for the bonuses come from? Well, they're definitely not coming from a developer's pocket. They're most likely coming from the price that you pay. You're not paying for better concrete walls. You're paying for the system, for the extra banners and marketing, for affiliates and consultants, for bonuses for the referrals. And the sad part about it is that your friend, most likely, is not even aware of what a fair and normal price is, because he simply doesn't know the market and what competitive pricing is about in Northern Cyprus. That friend most likely knows one single project that he bought and a narrative from the developer. Those kind of people, they're not scammers, they're just victims of the system. And they are emotionally attached to the commission payout. Now let's talk about where big commissions are most common. But important thing to know that not every single developer and not every single location is within that system. But general pattern is, the higher the hype about a project, the more you see a particular development across the ads and media and marketing materials and every single YouTube platform channel, etc. The more people talk about it, generally the higher the budget for marketing is. And the more comfortable the bonus commissions sit inside the price. This trend is usually seen in highly competitive areas where you find mostly high-end luxurious type of resorts or all-inclusive type of resorts with hundreds, if not thousands of units. Those companies heavily invest into the advertising and commercial campaigns. And of course, aggressive marketing. In those kind of locations with such competition that's going on in Northern Cyprus, developers often push each other. If, let's say, one developer increases a commission rate to a certain percentage, other developers are pressurized to do the same. Why? Because agents would simply not promote their projects for lower commission rates. Now let's move on to the most uncomfortable truth. The problem is that the system does not stop at the random influencers and consultant, okay? The system actually gets into your personal circle. And we've seen dozens of cases where children bring their parents to a particular agent. A friend brings a friend to a particular developer to sell the best project on the island. And a family friend suddenly becomes a property expert. Not because they've had a great experience or because it's the best investment on the island, but because they get a share of commission or a bonus from your purchase. So now, if your friend, a colleague, or a business partner or relative is very emotional and almost aggressive about one particular project or an agency, saying things like, oh, everyone else is useless, you can't trust anyone, this is the only project that's going to bring you money, so forth, you actually have the right to stop and ask yourself, are they protecting my money and my future investment, or are they protecting their own commission rate? And you can ask the individual directly whether they get any bonuses for bringing you as a client. And if the answer is, well, maybe some sort of small bonus or thank you money for recommendation, that's not a neutral recommendation anymore, my friends. That's a sale. And you are the client and they are the seller, but without a business card. Now let's move on to the current property market conditions in Northern Cyprus and a question why resales often be off-plan in terms of the price. So while off-plan needs to be invested heavily into the marketing campaigns, have luxurious offices and endless high commission chains, resale market is very different today. A lot of the owners bought property 3 to 5 years ago when prices were a lot cheaper. And today those owners, some of them are looking to sell excess properties that they owe, that they bought back in the days. Some of them urgently need cash, and some of them just, have simply change of plans. And today they sell either with the break-even or with the small capital appreciation, which still is a lot cheaper comparing to the off-plan in current market. And what does it mean for you? For you today, it means that you can buy a ready property with keys being delivered, with title deed work and documentation being done, with a lot of extra expenses being paid at a lot cheaper price comparing to the similar properties off-plan around the corner. And that means that you are not paying for heavy marketing campaigns, you are not paying for 3D images or endless bonuses or layers of partners or high commission rates. You are actually paying for the real walls with real use, real numbers, and the current real market value, not for somebody else's bonuses. So now, what should you do as a buyer? Well, first of all, I would like to say that by no means I'm trying to say never buy off-plan. Off-plan can be an amazing tool, especially in the current market conditions, if you need the financial flexibility, and especially in current terms where you can negotiate longer payment plans with the developer free of interest. If you understand the market around and you see that the difference between off-plan and resale is not that drastic, and if you are not hypnotized by the last 5 units left every month. But what I want you to is to do 3 very practical things. First of all, watch a pressure level. If somebody is pushing towards a particular developer or particular agency way too hard, like life depends on them, it's a red flag. Secondly, if you are being referred by a friend or relative to a particular agency or particular developer, ask a very direct question. Do you get any bonus commission for that? And that's not being rude, that's not being uncomfortable, that's, just asking a direct question because that's your money and that's your investment and you have the right to know. And thirdly, before you sign up for any off-plan, make sure you examine the resale market in the same area of the similar font. That way, you would know what the price difference between resale and off-plan is, and you will understand how much you pay on the top of the price for having the financial flexibility and the payment plan free of interest. That's pretty much all I wanted to say today. In my next video, I will go into the real examples where I will compare off-plan properties with a similar type of font resale options available in the same location. I will also tell you where off-plan truly makes sense and where resales give you much smarter entry points. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next episode.